Let me ask you something. Have you ever sat in silence and imagined a better life? You close your eyes and you see it. The house, the freedom, the confidence, the success. It's all there in your mind. And for a moment it feels real. Your heart starts to beat a little faster. Your spirit lifts. You can almost taste it. That's the power of a dream. But let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. It's easy to dream. It's harder to do. And most people, they never get past the dream. They stay in imagination. They stay in the someday. But here's the truth. Dreams don't build the life. Discipline does. Consistency does. Work does. You see, a dream feels good, but doing often feels uncomfortable. And because of that, most people choose comfort over commitment. They choose easy over effort. They choose later over now. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. That's the trap. The dreamer waits, the door moves, and life rewards the door. So today, I want to talk to you, not about dreaming bigger, but about doing deeper. Because your dream has value, but it's worthless if it never leaves your mind. Let's talk about what it really takes to go from vision to victory, from wishful thinking to powerful doing. Let's get into it. You know, it's a beautiful thing to dream. It's one of the greatest gifts we've been given as human beings. The ability to imagine a better life, to see beyond the present moment, to picture something more. That's the beginning of all progress. Everything begins with a dream, with a picture of the future planted in the heart of today. And yet, that's where most people stay. In the dream, they talk about their goals. They hope something will change. They wish for success. But here's the hard truth. A dream is only the starting point. It's not the finish line. Imagine you're holding a seed in your hand. Maybe it's the seed of an oak tree. Strong, tall, majestic. Now picture this. You place that seed on your shelf. You admire it. You talk about it. You write in your journal about how beautiful that tree will look one day. But you never plant it. You never water it. You never protect it from the wind or give it sunlight. Let me ask you, what happens? Nothing. Because a seed alone does not grow. It needs care. It needs labor. It needs consistency. And so do your dreams. Don't just let your dreams live in your head. Put them to work in your hands. That's when change begins. You see, it's not wrong to dream. In fact, it's necessary. You have to know where you're going. You have to see it before you can seize it. That's vision. But vision alone is not victory. Motion is the bridge between the dream and the destination. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And to become that person, you have to move. You have to act. You have to do. Now let me tell you what's happening to too many people today. They're drowning in motivation. They watch the videos, they read the books, they go to the seminars. And that's good, but it's not enough. Because if all that motivation leads to feeling good, but never to doing good, you've missed the point. Don't let your learning lead to knowledge. Let your learning lead to action. Knowledge is potential power, but action is actual power. Reading about the gym won't make you fit. Talking about the business won't make you rich. Dreaming about change won't make you different. Doing will. And that's where the transformation begins. So here's the question. Are you just dreaming about the life you want? Or are you building it? Are you staring at the blueprint? Or are you hammering the nails? Because the blueprint is necessary. But the blueprint doesn't build the house. You can't hire someone else to do your push-ups. You have to do it. You have to dig the trenches. You have to lay the bricks, one at a time, day after day. Whether you feel like it or not, that's the difference between a dreamer and a doer. A dream is like a map. It shows you the destination. It points out the path. But holding the map doesn't get you there. You have to walk. You have to stumble. You have to sweat. You have to move. And when you move, even slowly, you begin to transform. That's when you build confidence. That's when you earn momentum. That's when the universe starts responding. Because the world doesn't respond to your dreams. It responds to your effort. For every disciplined effort, there is a multiple reward. So dream boldly, yes. But then get to work. Because the dream isn't the finish line. It's just the starting gun. Have you ever wondered why so many people start with dreams, and yet so few finish with results? Why is it that the dreamers are many, but the doors are rare? Why do people dream of success for years, but never seem to move an inch toward it? Let me tell you why. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. That one line explains more failure than anything else I know. Because the actions that change your life, they're not complex. They're not hidden. They're not even expensive. They're simple. They're small. They're easy. But the reason people stay dreamers is because the easy not to do always wins. Dreaming feels good, doesn't it? You lie back, close your eyes, and picture the life you want. There's no sweat, no stress, no failure. Just visions of success. Now contrast that with doing. Discipline, structure, effort. Doing is uncomfortable. You get tired. You feel resistance. You face fear. You risk failing. And most people, they'd rather stay comfortable with the fantasy than get uncomfortable with the process. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. And yet most choose the heavy weight of regret. Why? Because they're not paying it now. They think they can escape the cost. But trust me, the bill always comes due. And it's always more expensive when you delay. You see, the dreamer doesn't intend to fail. No one wakes up and says, I want to live an average life. But here's what happens. They say things like, I'll start tomorrow. I'm too tired today. Next week will be better. I need to feel more motivated. And around they go. Tomorrow becomes never. And one day becomes no day. Motivation alone is not enough. If you have an idiot and you motivate him, now you have a motivated idiot. We laugh, but it's true. Motivation is a start, but habit is the engine. And most people never build the habit of doing because they never get past the emotional roller coaster. One day they're high. The next day they're flat. They wait for inspiration. They wait for the mood. They wait for the stars to align. But success doesn't care about your mood. You cannot make progress without making decisions. And indecision is the home of the dreamer. The door makes the decision, even when it's hard, even when they're scared. That's what separates the two. There's another reason most stay dreamers. It's fear. Fear of failing. Fear of looking foolish. Fear of what others will say. Fear of not being good enough. And fear it paralyzes. So instead of trying, people hide behind the dream. Because a dream, untouched, can't fail. It can't be judged. It can't be criticized. It's safe. But let me ask you, what's the point of a safe dream that never sees the light of day? What good is a song that's never sung? A book never written? A life never lived? We must all suffer one of two things, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Which pain will you choose? Now, here's something deep, and most people never realize it. Dreamers stay dreamers because that's how they see themselves. They say, I'm just not a morning person. I've always been lazy. I'm not like those disciplined people. And guess what? The way you see yourself becomes your life. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Why? Because if you want to change your outcomes, you have to change your identity. If you want to become a doer, you have to start seeing yourself as someone who follows through, who sticks to the plan, who keeps promises to themselves. That's how change begins. Not with a dream, but with a decision about who you are. So what do the doers do that the dreamers don't? They wake up and say, I may not feel like it, but I'll do it anyway. I may not know everything, but I'll start. I may fail, but I'll learn. I may be scared, but I won't quit. They understand this. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. That's it. Nothing fancy. Nothing secret. Just doing the simple things day after day, even when you don't want to. That's the path. So here's where we are. A fork in the road. One path leads to a dream unfulfilled, a life half lived, a heart filled with regret. The other path, it's harder, it's longer, it's filled with challenges, but it's also the path that leads to growth, to fulfillment, to pride, to purpose. And the only thing that separates those two paths is your choice. The few who do are the envy of the many who only watch. So don't stay a dreamer. Become a doer. Your dream deserves more than just imagination. It deserves your effort. Have you ever watched someone go from nothing to something? From broke to wealthy? From unsure to unstoppable? From invisible to influential? Let me tell you, that didn't happen by accident. Success is not to be pursued. It is to be attracted by the person you become. And the door's journey is all about becoming. It starts with a vision, but it doesn't stay there. It moves, it builds, it evolves. And yes, it's difficult, but it's also worth it. The journey begins with the smallest of steps. Not a leap, not a miracle. Just the first step, waking up earlier, making that first call, reading that first chapter, saving that first dollar. That's the difference. Don't start the day until you have it finished. See, the door doesn't let the day happen to them. They shape it. They mold it. They plan it. Why? Because drifting doesn't get you to your dreams. Discipline does. And let me tell you something. The bridge from vision to reality is built with bricks of daily discipline. Not weekly. Not when you feel like it. Daily. Every day, doors take one more step. That's how the invisible becomes visible. How dreams become dollars. How ideas become empires. Now here's where the journey gains direction. Most dreamers have wishes. Doors have written goals. You've heard me say it, goals. There's no telling what you can do when you get inspired by them. There's no telling what you can do when you believe in them. And there's no telling what will happen when you act upon them. A goal is a contract with your future. It's your promise to become more. It takes that vague dream and makes it concrete, real, measurable. You don't build a house without a blueprint. You don't climb a mountain without a map. You don't create a life of meaning without goals. So if you want to live the door's life, grab a pen, write it down, define what you want. Then go after it like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. Let me tell you a secret. The biggest obstacles are not out there. They're in here. Inside your mind, self-doubt, fear, procrastination, limiting beliefs. And here's what most people do. They wait for those feelings to disappear. But doers, they go forward in spite of them. You must learn to handle the winters. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. The door knows the mind can be trained. And that personal development is not a luxury. It's a necessity. So they raid, they listen, they learn. Not because they're weak, but because they want to become strong. You want to get ahead in life, you have to win the war within. Time, the great equalizer. We all get 24 hours, rich or poor, young or old, dreamer or doer. But how we use those hours, that's what creates the difference. Doers don't waste time. They invest it. They cut distractions. They schedule priorities. They guard their mornings. They own their evenings. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Let me ask you, who's running your day? Every hour is a seed. Plant it wisely, and your future will be a harvest. Waste it, and all you'll reap is regret. Here's where many dreamers fall off the path. They miss one day and quit. They mess up once and give up, but not the doer. The doer knows this. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Not perfection, just consistency. Miss a day, start again, fall down, get up. Feel tired, keep moving. See, the door isn't superhuman, they're just committed. They don't need motivation every day. They have momentum. And with enough momentum, small wins become big victories. That's how vision becomes reality. Not overnight, not by magic, but by staying in the game long enough to win. So now you know the journey. You've seen the map. But here's the question only you can answer. Will you take the steps? Will you build the discipline? Write the goals? Face your fears? Guard your time. Stay consistent. The major key to your better future is you. But not the government, not your boss, not your past. You. The door's life is waiting on the other side of decision. And if you start walking today, your vision could become your reality, one step at a time. Let me ask you a simple question. How long have you been thinking about it? That idea, that business, that book, that habit, that life. How long has it been circling your mind? Weeks, months, years? Let me tell you what I've learned about life. If you don't plan your own life, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. The clock is ticking, not just the one on your wrist, but the one inside your life. And every day you delay, every time you say, someday, you're choosing comfort over progress. You're choosing the couch over the climb. You're choosing the fantasy over the future. And the truth is, you can't improve what you don't begin. Let's talk about this word that tricks so many people, later. It sounds innocent. It sounds wise. I'll do it when I have more time. I'll start next Monday. I'll wait until things calm down. I'll be ready someday. But let me remind you, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Later is a trap. Later becomes never. Later keeps you in the same place, just older. And the only thing that changes with time is the cost of delay. Opportunities dry up, energy fades, regret grows. You don't want to wake up one day with the worst pain of all, the pain of what could have been. So the question becomes, if we know what to do, why don't we do it? Simple. It's not logic stopping you. It's emotion. Fear of failure. Fear of looking foolish. Fear of not being good enough. But remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Most people are waiting for perfect conditions, perfect timing, perfect confidence. But here's the truth: you grow as you go. Clarity comes from motion. Courage comes from momentum. Confidence comes from action. You're not supposed to feel ready. You're supposed to begin anyway. There's a difference between motion and action. Motion is reading another book. Motion is watching another video. Motion is talking about your plans. Motion feels productive, but nothing changes. Action, on the other hand, is uncomfortable, is uncertain, but it moves the needle. You make the call, you send the email, you launch the thing, you say yes or no, and move forward. Motion is the dreamer's comfort zone. Action is the door's playground. So ask yourself, are you busy or are you moving forward? You want to turn your life around. You need urgency. We must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline is sharp, but regret is cruel. Discipline lasts a moment, regret lasts a lifetime. You can't afford to wait for inspiration. You can't sit around and hope for motivation. You have to act, especially when you don't feel like it. That's what separates the few from the many. Doors don't need permission. They don't wait for the stars to align. They decide, and they do. Now some people say, but Jim, I don't have the resources. I don't have the support. I don't have the money. And I say, it's not what you don't have that holds you back. It's what you think you need that isn't true. Start with what you have. Start with where you are. Use what you know. Do what you can. Because waiting for everything to be perfect is a perfect recipe for never starting. Doors don't complain about the tools. They get to work with what they've got. And here's what's powerful. What you have is enough to start. And once you start, you'll find more. Picture your dream life as a door. That door won't open with hope. It won't open with wishing. It won't open with delay. It opens with action. One push, one move, one choice to get up and begin. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. So what's stopping you? Fear, perfectionism, comfort, whatever it is, face it, break it, move through it. Because the life you want is waiting on the other side. Not tomorrow, today. So here's the invitation. And the challenge: don't wait. Don't overthink. Don't delay, start.
Do a move.
Because dreams are cheap. Plans are common, but action is rare. And that's why action is powerful. So go, pick up the phone, write the first line, take the first step. The door is waiting. All it needs is you. Let me tell you something that may surprise you. The dream is not the goal. The money is not the goal. The house, the car, the business. Those are not the true rewards. No, the real value isn't in what you get. The real value is in what you become. The greatest reward of the journey isn't the destination. It's who you have to become to reach it. Let that sink in. Everybody wants something. More time, more income, more peace, more freedom. But few people realize this one truth. To get what you want, you must become someone worthy of it. If you want success, become a person of discipline. If you want wealth, become a person of value. If you want love, become someone lovable. If you want freedom, become someone responsible. You can't shortcut that. You can't skip the becoming. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. That's what this journey is really about. Now, here's what I call the law of personal transformation. You don't get better results until you become a better person. Seems simple, but most people try to flip that. They say, if I get more money, I'll be more disciplined. If I get a promotion, I'll become more responsible. If I get lucky, everything will fall into place. But it's the other way around. You don't get the promotion, then become the leader. You become the leader, then you get the promotion. You don't get wealthy, then become generous. You become generous, then you attract wealth. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. That's the game. Let me tell you why the doing matters. It's not just about the task. It's about what the task does to you. When you show up early, when you stay focused, when you push through fear, when you practice discipline day in and day out, you start to build something inside. A foundation, a character, a strength. Those little acts, the daily habits, the unseen effort, they're doing more than moving you forward. They're changing you. They're making you stronger, wiser, sharper, more valuable. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. But it's also the bridge between who you are and who you are meant to be. Let me paint the picture. You've got this dream. It's big. It's exciting. It lights you up. But here's what most people miss. That dream lives at a higher level. It's not for the version of you that's lazy. It's not for the version of you that procrastinates. It's not for the version of you that gives up easily. That dream belongs to the version of you who is consistent, focused, courageous, determined. So the only way to claim that dream is to rise to meet it. And the doing, the action, the discipline, the courage, it's the process of becoming that person. That's why we work. That's why we push. That's why we grow, not just to achieve, but to transform. You want to change your life? Start with the mirror, not the market, not the economy, not your boss, not your family. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. That's the only thing in your control. You. And that's the good news. Because when you grow, everything around you grows. Your relationships improve. Your income increases. Your confidence multiplies. Your influence expands. The secret to changing your world is changing yourself. Now, I know something about dreams. They feel far away. The climb is steep. The work is heavy. But here's what I've found. The climb is where the magic happens. That's where your muscles grow. That's where your mind sharpens. That's where your soul matures. And when you finally reach the top, whatever that means for you, the view is beautiful, yes. But what really matters is this: you're not the same person who started the climb. You're better, you're bolder. You're more complete. That's the real prize. Not the dream, but the dreamer you became. So let me leave you with this. What you want is waiting. But it's not just a matter of time. It's a matter of transformation. Don't just chase the dream. Chase the growth. Don't just pursue the goal. Pursue the evolution. Don't just wish for a better life. Work to become a better version of you. Because the reward isn't just in what you build. It's in what you build within. The major key to your better future is you. So stop chasing and start becoming. That's how you win. That's how you live. That's how you rise. And that's how you turn the dream into reality. By becoming the person who deserves it all.